Hey everybody, it is I Hellgear, and as I said before, I'm going to do another Q&A session for Snoopy's Town Tale. And while I do that, I'm going to move a few things around cuz it's that time again. So, as always, don't be afraid to ask me questions when it comes to Snoopy's Town Tale in general. That being said, I'm going to start moving a few things around. And I got my list of the questions to answer as I go through them right here. So, first question. How much of the Charlie Brown cartoon on Apple devices have you seen? The answer is none. I haven't seen a lick of these various cartoons because I don't have an Apple device. I do not have Apple TV. I don't have any Apple devices, so I haven't seen any of the episodes of the Charlie Brown cartoon done by Apple. Next question. And this is the big one that people have been asking about. Why is it when events happen now, we get the mini events where only the first mini event is a building that gives us items, but the other two are Beagle Bucks? Now, this is actually because of player demand and preference. Normally, when we have events like this, and I'm going to say this now, normally when we have events like this, it's usually where we would have three different items that you would gain in the events here. Now, because of that, and by that I mean players' preference, because they didn't want so many they didn't want so many junk items going up in the mini events. The development team essentially made it so that you get one important item at first, and then the rest are just for aesthetics. They're to make the town look a little bit better. Now, I personally, when it comes to this sort of thing, I kind of miss having like more than one supplier. But the fact that you only get one supplier, and it's the supplier that pops up stuff every 12 hours, and then just some aesthetics, it's not to my liking, but the players have decreed this, and this was something that the development team listened to. So you got what you wanted. Next question. How long are events? Depending on the event, it's usually 3 weeks. Sometimes we may get an event where we get longer than 3 weeks. Sometimes we may get an event where it's shorter than 3 weeks. Do events have particular time adjustments? And the answer, of course, is yes. There are time adjustments that happen in events, but that all depends on the debugging issue. Next question. How do I speed my game up? Usually it runs super, super slow. Oh, this is something I actually had happen a lot on my previous tablet. And I believe it's one of the reasons why the animation style changed from like the 3D CGI of the Peanuts movie to the more comic book style. One thing I've learned from the community about that is characters in different outfits. Yes, that's right, characters in different outfits. And this is a very important thing, not just because I said so, but it really is a very important thing. And it also goes into another issue that is in the next question, the glitch where characters are just heads. I've had this issue multiple times where the character is just a head. Sometimes the head is bald, sometimes it's just the head that's the hair. But this has been something that has come up a lot. Um, can't do that just yet. What is right there? That's right there. Okay. Usually, when you have a character who's just a head, it fixes itself if you change them out of whatever outfit they had on to their default outfit. Another thing that helps you speed up your progress is having characters in their default outfits. The reason I say this is because when characters are in their default outfits, it speeds up the performance of the game slightly. It's not a big improvement, but it does affect the speed of the game. If you are having any other issues revolving around, let me put that over here. If you're having any issues revolving around characters that are just bodies and not, or that are just heads and not bodies, please contact customer support. That just sounded so wrong. Next question. How do the outfits for events and are ugh, I'm sorry. How are the outfits for characters picked when it comes to events? That goes to the development team. I'm sure they have their own set way of saying who gets what outfit in which event. You know, that's all on them. If I knew that stuff, like if I could predict who gets what outfit in which event, I would. Well, ain't that a mother? Are we serious? All right. Let me move this fence. I gotta adjust the fence then. That's unfortunate. Maybe if I move the fire hydrant, that might fit. Let me see. Next question. When you do your thumbnails for Snoopy's Town Tale, there's one other black boy that I've never really noticed in the comic strips. Of course, you haven't noticed that kid in the comic strip because that is my peanutized self. Now, one of the things that was available to visitors of the Peanuts movie website was this thing called the Peanutizer, where they could literally create themselves as one of the little folks, and you could save it. It was a big thing for the movie. A little bit later on, they had what was called a Snoopytizer, where you could do one where you can make a character that's a beagle. Well, ain't this something? This might have actually fixed it. All right, it did. Yeah, that's some good stuff there. Now I got to figure out where to put this fire hydrant. Next question. When it comes to the events, which events are always bound to happen based on how you've played this game? Well, I've been playing this game for many a year and off. So, as far as guaranteed events, that's kind of a difficult thing to answer. But what I will say is this. Ooh, let me put that back. Okay. When it comes to the events that happen in Snoopy's Town Tale, the ones that you'll see every year, there is a select few that do occur. The first one that always seems to occur is the Halloween event. I would have said the Valentine's Day event, but this year we had a little bit something different for Valentine's. We had like a Mardi Gras event for Valentine's this year. So normally that would be an every year thing, but change has happened. Is that bad? No. We are not afraid of change. As well, at least we as sentient people shouldn't be afraid of change. If the Pixar development team isn't afraid of change, more power to them. You know, that's how that is, and that's the way it should be, frankly. If I'm being frank about it, and more times than not, I usually am frank about it. Nevertheless, the next one that always seems to happen is Christmas. Like, there always seems to be a Christmas event. And this is mainly because of what usually airs on TV before Apple TV these the past 70 years. On regular TV, we would have It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, and then Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown. These would air every year on TV for everyone to watch. However, that stopped, and I did cover the whole thing about Mendez and Schultz, because they had launched all the Charlie Brown stuff on the Apple TV to stop airing the cartoons on regular TV, and people had a fit. Oh my God, they had a fit. They petitioned to bring that stuff back, at least for one more year. Next question. Many of the animals in this game are Snoopy's family. Is his entire family in the game? No, the entire family is not in the game. There are two members of Snoopy's family that are not in the game: his sister Molly and his mom. But his dad and the other six siblings of Snoopy's are in Snoopy's Town Tale. Next question. How do I get Mimi back? Uh, oh, Jesus. Here we go again. I need to talk about this now. And I can talk about this because I'm one of the few people in the Snoopy's Town Tale room that has everybody. So, Let me bust this out for all of you. In the event, oh, you're doing stuff. Uh, just in the event of things and for clarification's sake. Okay? Dolores, Truffles, Rover, and of course, Mimi herself. I have to go and find her. These four characters have only appeared one time throughout the life of this game. Because Pixel no longer has the rights to reissue these characters, your chances of getting them are dead. Which is kind of sad because Rover was the character that introduced the St. Patty's Day event into the game. If you did not obtain these characters, you can't. So unless somebody at Pixel hits up the Schultz Museum, talks to Jeannie Schultz about these four characters and the game Snoopy's Town Tale, and whether or not they can get Pixel the rights to use them again, all of you players who did not obtain these four characters, you won't get to obtain these four characters. To many of you who haven't obtained these characters, whether you're new to the game now or anything else, they won't even show up in your game. And the reason why the development team decided to have it so that these four characters do not show up in your game is because they don't have the rights to reissue and redistribute said characters again. That's why their outfits will always have that 0 of 0. Next question. Is everyone who's in the game of Snoopy's Town Tale from the comic strip? The answer is no. Dolores, who I just mentioned, is a perfect example of this. She never appeared in any of Sparky's comic strips. Guess I'll pick up the rent, even though I'm supposed to be collecting or moving around my Emerald Island. I guess I'll just pick up rent because why not, right? Dolores never appeared in any of the comics. She actually appeared, I need to pick this up. She actually appeared in a special videotape episode where they talked about what Charlie Brown and crew wanted to be when they grew up. Dolores has only appeared in that video. Now, whether or not Mendez Mendelsohn and Jeannie Schultz want to incorporate Dolores into the Apple TV cartoon is on them. I hope that they do, because it would be nice. And it only makes sense because they are a part of the Little Folks universe. Next question. What is the deal with Charlotte Brown? And what is her issue in the game? All right, I'll just give you the quick here. Charlotte Brown was a character in the comic strip that was not liked at all. She wasn't liked in the slightest. And one person who wrote to Sparky about it wanted Charlotte Brown out of the strip. And to her surprise, Schultz agreed. The video that he wrote to said character taking Charlotte Brown out of the comic strip can be found, and it depicts Charlotte Brown with an axe in her head. The development team, as a complete surprise to me, and everyone else brought Charlotte Brown back to life in this game. Now, I personally, in the snippets of the Charlie Brown cartoon, I have not seen her show her face in that at all. If she has, again, I wouldn't know. Which leads into the next question. Which of the characters from the Snoopy's Town Tale game have appeared in the new cartoon? Just about everybody, from what I've been told. I've only seen a couple snippets of it from YouTube, and from what I have seen, Jose Peterson is there, Tebow is there, Tapioca Pudding is there. Uh, Jose Peterson actually speaks. Like, he has a voice actor or actress, I can't tell. Usually in the world of animation, they have women voice boys. You know, E.G. Daily voices Tommy Pickles. Did she voice Tommy Pickles in the old school or new school? She voiced Tommy Pickles, period. You know, if you've seen anything about the Rugrats and this new 3D revamp, they literally picked up the entire cast from the old 90s cartoon, had everyone reprise their roles. So yes, E.G. Daily is still voicing Tommy. Cree Summer still voices Susie Carmichael. You know, everybody is there. Except for Phil and Lil's dad, who was completely retconned out of that series. Next question. If you could take an event from the Apple TV cartoon and make it an event in Snoopy's Town Tale, what would it be? Um, I actually have to give a shout out to Gramokin on this one because during one of the Christmas events, he actually was able to catch a snippet of Auld Lansing. And to those who don't know about Auld Lansing or Auld Lang Syne, that's the song that you sing at New Year's. You know, should old acquaintance be forgot, blah, blah, blah. That's the name of that song, Auld Lang Syne. Well, apparently, the Apple TV cartoon did a segment about that, where Lucy rents out an entire hall, invites the crew for New Year's. Everything goes wrong, but she's still able to bring in the new year with her friends. Well, I would like that to actually happen, and it would be nice, to be honest with you. Let's go back to redecorating more of Emerald Island now that I have a little bit more space. Next question. Have you ever been to the Schultz Museum? I have not been to the Schultz Museum. I really have not. I would like to go one of these days. If I'm lucky, maybe I will. Next question. Why is it that the characters in Snoopy's Town Tale are kids or animals but never adults? That actually plays into the comic strip itself. You know, that was one thing about Charlie Brown's universe, you know. And Charles Schultz actually had an exhibit in the Schultz Museum called Adults by Schultz. And it was essentially the grown ups. I only know that because I follow the Schultz Museum's Instagram page. You know, in the universe of Charlie Brown, the appearance of the adults are few and far between, and they're few and far between by design. You know, it's supposed to be a town run by kids, kind of like this one reality show from years back called Kid Nation. Don't look that up. You know, the parents of the little folks are there, but you'll never get to see them, and you're not supposed to. You know that they exist. They each have segments, especially reruns back of the bike segment, and that the parents interact with each other off camera. The only parent or the only adults that you really have as a viewer of Charlie Brown, the knowledge of being there and existing, is the teacher of the kids. I would say Miss Othmar, but apparently in the Charlie Brown cartoon that's on Apple TV Plus, all the kids are in a brand new school. So they probably jumped up a grade and they don't have Miss Othmar as a teacher anymore. And that happens, actually. It does. Final question. Or at least the final question for this video. If you could add one more character to Snoopy's Town Tale, who would it be? Honestly, I would add Molly to this game. But as many people have said, there's a lot of characters in here already. And even if the Pixar development team came out and was like, you know what? We're going to surprise players and we're going to introduce one more new character and that's it. Well, hey, go for it. Thank you for your questions. Feel free to ask them to me in the comment section below. I answer them to the best of my knowledge. But for now, I take my goose from the oven because I'm done. I'll be looking forward to more of your questions later on.